you're the experienced veteran room, at least top heavy in that regard. What do you do with those guys, Luke and Q and LJ? And I mean, how do you bring them along still? I know everybody can get better, but what do you focus on with that group that's so experienced?
Well, I mean, the biggest thing at the moment is I'm trying to get them to understand what the quarterback sees. When you start to understand from the quarterback's perspective and how you run a route, you get yourself open a little bit easier, and timing wise, you're right there when the quarterback needs you. So that's kind of the next evolution. I mean, they're starting to understand the routes, how to separate, all those things. But now, are you really there when the quarterback needs you? When you get to your final break, do you create separation? And now that quarterback can throw in rhythm. So the more that they understand those types of things, I think we'll continue to grow.
Knowing those guys, it seems like something they would love.
Oh yeah,
right?
Well, really and truly, like I said, to get to the point to where hopefully we can just put them in the quarterback room for a little bit and let them just hear and watch film and do all those things. That's another way to try to help speed up the process for older guys, because they're tired of me.
Sure. And you would only do that with the older guys.
You would only do that with guys that care, they want to get better. You know what I'm saying? They have aspirations. I'm not one of them going in Coach Z's room and Coach Z starts screaming at them. So they understand that they need to go over there and learn as much as they possibly can.
Okay.
Last fall, you had an on-field emphasis on running after the catch. How do you feel like that worked out, and what's your current emphasis, I guess, in that realm?
I'm never satisfied. I don't think we got as much as I would have wanted. It got better. I think the more we get a little bit more better with our scramble rules in those situations, and we'll get more yak out of those situations as well. So it's been more of an emphasis right now that I've been really stressing scramble rules and the reaction when the quarterback moves. And then hopefully, like I said, building off of getting yak, they'll start to get more out of those opportunities as well.
Terry, that we all know about the guys coming back. What about the young guys in that group behind them? What do they look like?
They're doing good, but right now I'm in a bully gills gruff mentality with some of my young guys. I need them to start making more plays. I don't think we've caught the ball as well as I wanted to. I want those guys to, like I said, they're just numbers right now. I don't want to put no names to them just yet because we got a lot to get done.
With LJ out, is that opening up opportunities?
More reps, yeah. And guys, what they don't know, we're finding out. And they got to understand, you got to study the plays, you got to be on top of it, because here's the opportunity. You're going to make a good reputation or a bad reputation off of this one opportunity. So, but the young guys, I think they're embracing it, but you got to continue to come.
Where does a guy like Doug fit into that? Because not the same number of snaps and reps as those old guys, but he's not young either.
No, he's not young, and he's one of those guys that I let him go visit with the quarterbacks and learn from that perspective. He's not somebody that I consider a young guy that hasn't played. He's just one of those guys that he has roles, and he's an unselfish individual. He's doing whatever he possibly can to make a play, and he gets really excited when he makes a play. So he's just one of those guys that he's a football player, and love having him around. So I'm gonna try to keep him as happy as I possibly can, but he wants to make plays. So I don't have a care when he goes out there on the field.
What is a realistic expectation for him this year in terms of the impact he can make?
There's gonna be a lot of balls in the air. We got good quarterbacks, so I expect him to make a lot of plays.
What makes him such an effective blocker down the field?
An effective blocker knows where the ball's going and uses leverage. If you know it's going to the right, then make sure your defender can't get to the right. Once you start understanding the leverage component, blocking becomes really easy. But if you just go and running and just a dog sniffing his behind, then no, you're not going to have much success blocking. So the biggest thing is understanding where the ball's going and try to make sure that you're in a position to control that and then make the defender go through you.
We saw Keaton get some snaps during the season last year. What's his spring look like so far?
He's looking good, but Keaton's one of those really, really confident guys. He'll watch this and he'll be like, "Coach loves me." So I'm gonna try to keep him humble. But he's just one of those guys that he works hard. He's got a million questions, and we just got to keep him growing.
What kind of stuff is he asking you about?
Keaton asks every question up under the sun about the plays, because here's the deal with him. He knows every position. And his questions are not, just what should I do? It's, okay, well, I was at the X here, and then I'm playing Z here, and where's the quarterback look? So he's looking at it. He's really advanced as far as a freshman. I won't say he's a freshman. I consider him a sophomore, even though he redshirted. But he's just one of those guys that he really has good insight. He has good questions. And like I said, it's showing because he's making plays.
With the scramble rules you mentioned earlier, just how do you coach something that's kind of inherently improvisational in nature like that?
There's rules to it. I mean, there's rules. Once you know quarterback goes in one direction, you can't just stand right there. It's easy for a guy to cover you. So you got to have a place where you need to go to meet him so the quarterback can see you. We teach these guys all those things. We teach them when a quarterback rolls to the right, what should you be doing when you're on the front side and when you're on the back side. And the more they react, the more they put themselves in the quarterback's vision. That's what you're trying to get accomplished. I need to be in the quarterback's vision where he can throw the ball to me. So rep it, and then they got to react.
When you have a guy like Jalen who's the one throwing the ball, does that kind of increase the importance of those calls?
When you got athletic quarterbacks that can improv and do different things, do things off schedule, there are huge plays for wide receivers. You really have to try to embrace that. I mean, for me, teaching scramble rules is really one of the, as I've gotten a little bit older, those are some of the things that, really equate into a lot of extra plays, explosive plays, and get you in the end zone. So there's a good emphasis on scramble rules.
Your group, those older guys, it seems like there's a lot of, I was talking to Luke the other day about this, the idea that we don't want to just settle on what we've done. We've got to keep moving, Yep. I think his line was, we want to be the next best team and we want the team after us to be the best team. Yeah. What is that like to coach for you? Somebody that has that much impact and influence on the rest of the roster and complacency and all that.
Most of the time I'm dealing with divas and, with my wideouts. So, that leadership component, I'm always trying to work that in them. And now, like I said, LJ stepped into it. Of course, Luke stepped into it. Skinner's stepped into it. It's been pleasant to be able to just sit back and watch these guys push. They push themselves. They put the other guys behind them. When they leave, I think they're going to feel like the wide receiver room is going to be in a good place moving forward. That's important to them. Okay, their legacy is important to them. So it's been fun to be around guys that I don't have to coach them on effort. They understand that this is important and it's going to make a difference. If coach is telling you something and coaching you on something, it's to make a difference, not to just, pull you back or tick you off. So these guys, I think they understand us as coaches. They understand what we want, and they're trying to give it to us. And they're making those young guys move up.
Anything else for Coach Samuel?